Sup everyone, Linda here. Let's start that again. Yo, sup everyone. Here again for volume 6 now. We're up to volume 6 of the AAA Asphalt, True Capacity Fitness and Custom Imports V354 build project. We are back in Custom Imports. I'm going to try and make this one a slightly shorter, less technical and detailed, more of just an update video, because shit's getting exciting like I said it was. So it has been exciting. Whoa, wrong way. It's been exciting last couple of weeks. Now in the last clip, last video, sorry, in volume 5 was about the fabrication and getting that stuff sort of finished, essentially, almost. Well, engine in, turbo manifold and exhaust and stuff sorted, which is done, finished now. Fast forward another, because that was a couple of weeks ago, fast forward to now and we've got more done. Radiator and cooler plumbing and all of that stuff is also done and finished and shit, which is what this video is going to be about, and sort of bit of an update anyways to where it's at, because it's coming along. So I'm going to flip around. Alright, so as you can see, engine is in, as you saw in the last one, but we now have piping and plumbing and shit. We have throttle body, might get this out of the way, throttle body, plenum, throttle body, TBS, all of that sorted, customized. There's a starter motor down there that's in. There's an alternator that is a very hefty alternator that is mounted all in place. There is an intake. There's an intake. There is radiator. There is intercooler plumbing. We have things and stuff and things. Tube work back on, bash bar on, sitting in place. Things. So, as you saw in those clips, pretty much everything is in. Still got to do electric power steering, pump and stuff, and a couple of other little things. I haven't found a spot for oil cooler yet. Well, I haven't found a spot for oil cooler because I'm changing oil cooler. Core that I've already got is going to be used for the trans, because this is the 8 HP car setup. So different oil cooler core, but I've got a spot for that in the front. I personally have just been messing around down here today with some ducting for the front for airflow reasons, obviously. I'm a big believer in that stuff in terms of its effectiveness and shit. I've used it on other cars in the past and it makes a big difference. It's not that hard to do. It's a cheap and easy sort of thing to do once you just design it, sort of stencil it out and make it up in the first place. But it makes a huge difference to cooling and efficiency of the car, especially on a drift car, where we don't get stacks of forward airflow, in the front, because the cars are always going sideways. So using ducting to force that air to go through where you want it to go, which in this case obviously is my intercooler radiator, oil cooler, makes a big difference. So I've been messing around with some stuff today for that. But as you can see, and as I was just showing you, we are very much at a place where it's starting to get kind of complete. Next step is wiring and fuel lines, turbo lines and stuff like that, which wiring's a pretty big job, but that can be going on while other things are happening on the car as well. Alright, We're under it because I remembered that last time, or in the last clip, the exhaust wasn't quite done. So now it is. So, exhaust is done, all mounted and everything's in place. We've cut the front section, the dump, out so that it can, and like added a flange so that it can be a removable piece, because that stuff's all going to get taken off and ceramic coated very soon. Also, is you can see there is a section of tail shaft missing between there and gearbox. So front section of tail shaft needs to be made, modified, just to have a real basic cut and shut style setup. I'm going to, obviously this car with the BMW 8HP trans in it has a 3-bolt flange on the output of the gearbox. This being a Nissan would normally have the big dick that goes into the box on the spline. So I'm getting creative and going to use the whole Nissan tail shaft essentially, cut and shut with the rear section off the diff, the 4-bolt diff with the uni joint that any of you guys would be familiar with. I'm actually putting one of those on the front and then using an adapter between gearbox and tail shaft to basically go from 4-stud to 3-stud, kind of like a wheel spacer conversion. Think of it that way. And that's how that's going to bolt up to solve that issue. And I'm going to show you some lock shit while I'm under here, because we haven't really had a chance to have a good look and play with that yet. Let me get out of here. So in a sec, I'm going to call over Dylan because he's here fucking around on some shit today as well. And I'm going to go lock to lock so you can see the FDF stuff in action, because it's killer. I'm really, really pumped on this shit. I'm looking forward to running that in this car. The FDF Fab front end lock kit, Mega Mantis, is what running in this car. Wicked shit. Really well made. Super amounts of lock, which I'm going to show you guys now, because we haven't been able to see it because of the way everything's been with the car. I haven't really been able to go lock to lock. So Dylan! Hi! Dylan's going to come over and operate steering wheel for me for a sec and go lock to lock so we can see the things. I'm going to turn the camera around. Or you can do it from there. Bam! So, as you can see, she has lock. She has serious lock, which, as I mentioned before, I'm absolutely frothing over getting to drive. Just starting to get close. While let me just quickly run over a couple of the bits and pieces that I potentially haven't mentioned yet of what this car will be running in terms of parts and bits and pieces and shit, or just stuff that you may not know, like that, you know, this car and this engine and setup and whatever runs. So I'll flip this around. The throttle body here, these run electronic throttle, like the by wire style, which we're keeping and using. The V354 chassis runs that, and then the N54 from the Beamers run it as well, so we may as well use it because the pedal and everything is set up for it. This car, I've got the PRP bracket kit for 35 GDR coils, so it'll be running those as well. This is a super grunty 200 amp alternator because there's lots of electrics in this car, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be running out of, all the things that need the electrics. Obviously it's going to have electric power steering as well. So yeah, extra beefy alternator to make sure everything does what it's supposed to. Piping, intercooler pipe there running across and under. The intake is a pretty snug fit, obviously, but we've got that happening to be in the sort of the wheel well here, almost the top behind where the headlight will go. So yeah, I think that's all we need in terms of updated things. Seen the lock kit, seen where the car's at, so I reckon seen Dylan, so I will probably leave there until next time, which hopefully again is going to be very soon. Shit's happening. Hopefully at some point in this we've inserted some little bits and pieces or snippets of other stuff that's gone on or during the process. If not, it's just been me and seeing the car. So yeah, we're getting very close. Thanks for watching, thanks for checking in, and particularly interesting for those of you who know what the 8HP, this whole auto thing is all about. I'll probably do more on that in this next video, but there are some other guys in Australia doing that in what is essentially a drift car now, and it just happens to be a drift car that also runs the N54 like I'm using in this. This one's still in a B-mesh chassis, these guys, as opposed to me putting it in a Nissan, but yeah, they're doing it now, which is giving us a little bit of extra motivation because it's well and truly doable when it's happening and is working well. So yeah, watch this space for that. Keep an eye on the 8HP stuff. It's all over the future, pioneering here. Hopefully, otherwise it'll be a complete shit show and a nightmare. Fingers crossed it's not the latter. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'll speak to you guys again soon. You'll see me soon, and happy days.